Good evening to the dignitaries on the dais. A warm welcome to the guests, the family members, near and dear ones, and the entire village, and the people, those who are present here. As you know, we all have gathered here to pay tribute to our one and only late Gagan Bihari Jena, who left us in this very day in 2021 for heavenly abode after being with us for a short period of 67 years. It was an unfortunate thing. I got this news when I was in Visakhapatnam in that evening, that unfortunate evening, an ill-fated evening, and it was a shock to me. I couldn't believe my ears. Then I had to search in other resources or other sources to find out whether this news, to prove this news wrong. But by then, God has already taken him from all of us. And today we all are here to pay tribute to him. I had a very, close association with him from my childhood. Probably when I was, studying in, or my schooling was with lower primary. And it was to my utter surprise, I think he's the first person, a dynamic young man then, who asked me for the first time in my life, what's your name? So English was, something which was just, it was not my cup of tea. I was not knowing that, thing in English. So he was the first person who made me to listen English for the first time in my life. And I can recall it. And from that day onward, he will insist me in speaking in English with him, because I think he was having a, love for this language. And whenever I meet him, and it is not only that, my name, asking my name, thereafter he continued with, those, questions which we generally talk to our toddlers. What's your name? How old are you? What's your father's name? What's your teacher's name and all that. So he kept me teaching those things, for the first time and from my childhood. So I was basically, those days English used to be, in the fourth standard. So what I did is that almost, I think I was in the third or the second standard, I started, using these sentences. It is because of him. He was instrumental in, teaching me in English from the very, an early childhood. And I thank him for that. And that motivated me till this day. That to learn English, to speak in English, to write some article, blogs and all that. So I salute him for that. And I think he had also love for this language, because those time in our village, during his time, there are not many guys those who were talking in English or basically going to universities or colleges. So seeing him, or seeing him as young, dynamic, humble, sober personality, smiling face and always charming, I also tried to emulate all that and try to become one, something like him. But it never happened. As you know that at the age of 17 and a half, I left this village for Mumbai for my education, and subsequently I was working with the Navy. So I had a very close association with him till I was 17 or 17 and a half. I was so happy when I was going to Mumbai. So fine. So when I was working with Navy, then I came in, I don't know, it is something 1980 or 89. In the evening, during my leave, we were just chit-chatting, discussing how is life in Navy and all that. So I told him, why can't you pay a visit to Mumbai? Then he agreed. And the very next week, he got his reservation done, and the next week we were on the train. His father, myself, and my dada. So what happened that, Those days, the freedom fighters used to get, second AC reservations along with an attendant, and I had, a sleeper class reservation. So we boarded that train. So it was all fine. So he instead insisted me, to travel in the second AC, to share or to, with him those luxuries of a upper class travel, and which I also liked. So what happened? A unfortunate thing happened. When we were in Sikandrabad, we are not knowing, not cognizant of the, rules, regulations of railways. We all three were traveling in the second AC. Fine. And Sikandrabad, the TT surprisingly, checked us. He then started penalizing us. Then he in fact told me that I'll throw you out of the coach. There is no other way we could, except because she was a stranger for us. We know a bit of all sort of languages. But what I saw is that, my uncle, means Gagan Dada, spoke to him very fluently in English, and I think the TT, got influenced over him. And after 4-5 minutes, I saw that they are chit-chatting like friends. The TT, who is a Telugu guy, then, he was so influenced by my uncle that they were chit-chatting like friends. So I thought that something might have cooked here. So what happened? The TT left, telling me, don't worry, you travel here, but take care of your grandfather. So, immediately one thing struck to me, that how this was possible. I was going to pay him around $1,000 as a penalty, and at the same time I was to leave this coach. But the thing is that Gagan Dada was so, humor, or having that sober, charming personality. And the way he speaks with people, the way he mixes with people, I think the TT got influenced. And that's one thing which struck me that time, and it was really, nice. And then we, as planned, we went to Mumbai. Then I allowed him to stay in my institutes, and it was a good place. And I had taken over to all the places in Mumbai, showed him, and he was excited all about. And then even we went to, one evening into our bar for some time and had a jar of beer and all that. So I can still recall those, the joys in his face, because I was there in Mumbai 3-4 years before, and he just went on to be with me for a 4-5 days. And why I'm saying this thing is that because you can judge a person by his attitude, behavior, his personality. But he was unique in the sense that he's talking to people, he's so sober, so natural to him that people love him. The other incident which I want to bring here and tell you all is that it is basically on our childhood when we go to some villages and distance villages, say 10 to 50 kilometers either side, any side from our villages. We happen to be there in our childhood when we were 15, 20, that sort of age group. Sometimes people ask us, you guys from where are you? Since young children, they can ask that you are from where. Then we tell that we are from Hatsahi, Rampur. Then the immediate the question will come to us saying that, do you know Gagan Jena? Then of course we submit saying that, yeah, he's my uncle, or I know him, my house is close to him. So all that, basically people around this village, across villages, 15 to 20 villages, they know him so well. Even we get identified because of Gagan Jena. See the man's profile. It was not an era of Facebook, or it was not an era of any social media, or even telephone was not existing that time. But he was a person having personal relations, his profile, his social belongings, all that made him a great person. You go anywhere, probably 15-20 kilometers, any side, and then you ask, they ask, in fact, do you know Gagan Jena? Then we ask, yeah, we are from his place. So it was basically, we all get noticed or identified because of him. So how can you imagine how this is possible? This is only possible because of his characters, because of his personality, because of his behavior with people, his personal relations with people. That was he was carrying a value to his own life. So many things you can talk about Gagan Dada, which are basically so influential, so natural to him, and it is influence to us. And I have never seen a person like him. I have worked across globe. I have worked international and international level with thousands and thousands of persons during my last 30-40 years of career. But I have never been met a person like him. He was so charming, so simple. Basically, and what can be said? There's no word for him. And the other thing is about his political career. See, I had only association with him till I was 17 and a half. Then, of course, during my 15, 20 or 30 days leave, sometime we meet. Then those days there was no telephone to talk continuously. But however, after this telephone thing started, somewhere in 90s and all, we are in touch. So whenever even then when we speak with him, he will speak in English only with me. I think he loves, because you don't find people around him those who are either fluent in English or like to talk to him in English. Because see, if you talk to a person in English, what happens that they may feel that it is a showing off thing, or that means showing off. But when he talks to me, he doesn't feel that, or I also don't feel like that. That yeah, we are showing to each other that we know certain vocabulary, or we are good at English. That's not the case. So we were quite say good at this, and we love speaking in English. That is one thing. The other thing which I was talking about his political career, because since I was up to 17 and then off and on I was to the village, so it will be not fair to tell about his political achievements. Right? He was political, but I am not able to judge him, or it will be unfair telling him that he was his achievement and all. But however, it would have been good or befitting to his career if he would have represented all of us in the Odisha Assembly. And it would have been icing on a cake to a person's career. But even though he was not a political man, so he was a political man but not a political, but he was a leader for the masses. He was a leader for the common people. People look him as their leader. People look him as their or their support for everything. People wherever something is happened unnatural or something, some accident, he is the first person to reach there. So people look him in that sense. He is never a political man, because to be a political leader and be successful, you need to have the evil side of your character, and he was not having those characteristics. Because as a politician, to be successful and sustainable, you need to have those good and the evil things together. It should be a combo pack basically. But he was not that. He was telling all the good things, and to deal with the complex issues of politics, I think he was lacking those evil things. Nonetheless, he will be remembered more than a political leader in this region. And his peer, I don't think what I told you, the 10-15 villages, it is not that. It was best probably the entire district was knowing him. On an era when there was no telephone, on an era when it was only physical relationship. Right? So you can imagine the personality he was. So many things I can talk about him, or all of us can talk about him. But if you keep talking about him, I think the clock will take one turn. Okay, the moments of the clock will take one turn. So we have lost him, unfortunately, and he has lived for 67 years, right? It is a short life. But there is a famous saying, if you live, it doesn't matter if you live short. If that short life is useful or dedicated to the poor people, to the common man, or support somebody, that's matter. So it is not a worry that he has lived for 67 years. He has kept, he has left a footprint in the society that even if you live short, you can make it meaningful. So that was his, achievement in the 67 years old. It doesn't make sense to live 90 or 100, but 67 was quite valuable. What I see, it's my perspective, right? And now, coming back to his family life, he has got 2 sons. They are all doing well. his son Raja and Subrat, both are doing well. But I will only, my condolences to the family, and also I, tell them to emulate their father, to live in his legacy, what he has left behind. Then probably the entire, we can all can live harmoniously in the society, because he was a person who was maintaining that harmony in the society. So it's for his sons to continue with his legacy and see the society remains harmoniously, and the entire village, look at them, and probably then he will, get satisfied on top. And on this very day, on behalf of the entire village, my family, and me in own self, I salute him for whatever he has achieved, whatever he has done for the entire region, for the poor people, or because I only, off and on I heard about him is doing this, doing that, but never actually, came in, dealing with what he has done. But he has done immense thing. Basically, or that Brahmani, that flood things and all that, bridges all over our areas, roads and all. Our areas is quite developed, and there is a contribution from his side. And on this day, I thank all of you for coming forward wholeheartedly for paying tribute to him. And though I could not come because of my job requirement at Visakhapatnam, because just 1 week back I was here in the village. So coming back again and again, for 2 or 3 days also, it is becoming, it is hard, or it is not possible because of the job requirement. So I can, thank all of you for making the function, because I've seen that function in in photographs of the video, because a lot of people have come and paid tribute to him. I think it was a befitting for a son of the soil. It was a befitting for for a personality like Gagan Jena. He was Gagan Jena, Gagan Bhai, Gagan Dada, Bhai, Gagan Babu for all of us. And I have across, as I told you, I have across thousands and thousands of people, but I have never met a person like that. The eternal truth is that everyone who born here, who take birth here, will die. People will come and go, but the legacy of Gagan Jena is going to stay forever. He is a person in the immortality. He may not be a member of parliament, he may not be a member of the legislative assembly of Odisha, but his contribution to the society, the legacy he is left behind, will remain for ever, ever and ever. And I can shout, saying that by paying tribute to it, wherever he is, his soul will, God will keep him in his heavenly abode, and his soul will rest in peace. Gagan Jena, and I tell all of you to stand for 1 minute this evening and shout, Gagan Jena Amar Rahe, Gagan Jena Amar Rahe, Gagan Jena Amar Rahe. Thank you all of you.